Hey there. I'm sure you're here because you want to learn something important. We all have our weaknesses, right? But not always do we see which ones really affect us and which ones impact those around us. Today, we're going to talk about the hidden weaknesses that women often keep under control, but which still have a huge influence on their lives and relationships. Maybe you don't even realize what your vulnerable points are, or perhaps you don't see how others react to those weaknesses. And if you're a man, this video is definitely for you. I'll show you what you need to understand and pay attention to in order to build deeper and more harmonious relationships. We'll look at it all through the lens of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches how to see the world without illusions and deal with its complexities. Lesson 1. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is one of the most common hidden weaknesses, especially in women. We often strive for the ideal, trying to be perfect in everything, whether it's work, relationships, or appearance. But this leads to constant stress, disappointment, and most importantly, the inability to meet our own standards. Stoicism teaches us not to aim for perfection, but to focus on what we can control. It doesn't mean lowering the bar. On the contrary, strive to be your best, but also accept that not everything in life will be perfect. So, if you find yourself always trying to be perfect, stop. Accept that mistakes are part of the journey, and that's okay. With this approach, not only will you worry less, but you'll also learn to appreciate your efforts and achievements, not just the outcome. Lesson 2. The need to please everyone. Have you ever caught yourself worrying too much about what others think? Many women, and not only women, feel the need to be agreeable to everyone: family, friends, colleagues, or a partner. Being polite and caring is great, but when you start putting others' needs above your own, you lose yourself. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control other people's thoughts and expectations. The only thing we can control is our own actions and reactions. When you stop depending on external validation, you become freer. So here's something to think about. You don't owe anyone anything except to be true to yourself. People can think whatever they want, but only you know what truly matters to you. Start small, say no when you really mean it, and watch how your life begins to change. Lesson 3. Emotional dependence. Have you ever felt like your mood completely depends on how others behave? For example, if someone responds rudely, your whole day is ruined. If your partner doesn't show enough attention, you feel unimportant. This is emotional dependence. Stoicism teaches us that relying on external factors for inner peace is a dangerous trap. When you give others control over your emotions, you become vulnerable. Instead, learn to draw strength from within. Remember, you are the only person responsible for your emotional state. Yes, sometimes we can't avoid pain or disappointment, but we can choose how to react to it. Try this. Next time someone tries to upset you, pause and ask yourself, why am I letting this affect me? Awareness is the first step to inner freedom. Lesson 4. Fear of being alone. Many people, especially women, fear being alone. This fear makes them tolerate toxic relationships, hold on to people who don't bring joy, or even avoid spending time by themselves. Loneliness seems scary, but in reality, it can be your ally. The Stoics say that true strength comes when you learn to be at peace with yourself. If you can't be happy alone, it means you're looking for happiness in the wrong place. Instead of fearing solitude, use it as an opportunity to understand yourself better, recognize your desires, and learn to be self-sufficient. Remember, if you're afraid of being alone, that means you urgently need to spend time with yourself. Self-sufficiency doesn't mean rejecting relationships. It means building them without the fear of losing them. Lesson 5. Excessive empathy. Being a compassionate and understanding person is a wonderful trait, but sometimes empathy becomes a weakness. You feel others' emotions so deeply that you start living their problems, forgetting about yourself. You worry when someone is upset, feel guilty for other people's failures, and spend all your energy helping others until you have nothing left for yourself. Stoicism teaches us about balance. Compassion is important, but it shouldn't come at the cost of your own boundaries. Your first responsibility is to yourself. You can't save everyone, and that's okay. Learn to care without self-sacrifice. Try asking yourself, is this really my problem, or am I just absorbing someone else's emotions? When you start distinguishing between your feelings and those of others, you'll stop draining your energy unnecessarily and will be able to help more consciously rather than automatically. Lesson 6. Fear of seeming unfeminine. Society imposes certain standards on women. Be soft, kind, accommodating, don't argue, don't be too ambitious. Because of this, many women fear showing their strength, standing their ground, or openly expressing their desires. What if someone says it's unfeminine? Stoicism teaches that strength of character and self-confidence have no gender. Being strong doesn't mean being harsh or aggressive. It means knowing your worth and not letting others define who you should be. Remember, your strength doesn't make you less feminine. It makes you whole. You can be kind and confident. You can care for others and still respect your own boundaries. Stop adjusting to other people's expectations and start living in a way that feels right to you. Lesson 7. Lack of boundaries in relationships. When you allow people to cross your boundaries, whether it's in relationships with a partner, family, or friends, you gradually lose control over your life. Women often tend to forgive the behavior of others or explain people's actions, justifying them. But in the end, this leads to you playing the role of a victim rather than an equal partner. Stoicism teaches us the importance of setting clear boundaries. Boundaries aren't barriers. They're ways to protect your inner peace and emotional well-being. You deserve respect, and if someone treats you inappropriately, it's your responsibility to establish a boundary. Tell yourself, my boundaries are my strength. This isn't about being harsh or selfish. It's about confidence and self-respect. Practice saying no when something goes against your values or feelings. Your boundaries are your way of maintaining your inner balance and health. Lesson 8. Attachment to the outcome. Many of us become too attached to the final result, whether it's success in a career, in relationships, or achieving a personal goal. We think that if we don't achieve what we set out to, it means we failed. But that's not true. Stoicism teaches us that it's not the outcome itself that matters, but the process that leads to it. Your goal is just one part of the journey. No matter what happens, what matters is how you perceive your actions and what you take away from each step. The Stoics say, don't attach yourself to the outcome. Focus on what you can control. Your effort, your determination, and your attitude toward challenges. That's what matters. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to move toward my goal without worrying about how it will end? When you release your attachment to the final result, you gain more freedom and can enjoy the process, not just the anticipation of the outcome. Lesson 9. Fear of change. Many of us fear change because it means stepping out of our comfort zone. Women, especially those who are accustomed to stability, may fear changes in their lives, whether in their career, personal relationships, or even in their daily routines. This fear can keep us stuck, limiting opportunities for growth and development. Stoicism teaches us that change is an inevitable part of life. There's no point in fearing what you can't control. Instead of resisting change, learn to embrace it as an opportunity for growth. When you accept change, you open yourself up to new horizons, new chances for success. Ask yourself, what can I gain from this change? Understanding that change is an opportunity, not a threat, helps you overcome fear and act confidently. Embrace change as an inevitable part of life and use it for your personal growth. Lesson 10. Fear of not meeting expectations. We all fear disappointing others. Parents, partners, colleagues, friends. Women in particular often feel the pressure to meet other people's expectations, whether in their professional lives or personal relationships. This feeling can paralyze us and prevent us from taking action because we're constantly worried that we won't live up to others' hopes. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control other people's expectations, but we can control how we react to them. You shouldn't live to meet others' ideals. It's important to understand that you don't have to please everyone. Your actions and your life are your choice. Remember, you don't have to meet others' expectations if they don't align with your values. Teach yourself not to be afraid to say no and to do what truly matters to you. When you stop fearing disappointing others, you free yourself for an authentic life. Conclusion: thank you for staying with me and watching this video until the end. I hope these lessons have inspired you to make changes and provided useful tools for working on yourself. Stoicism can be a real ally in gaining inner peace and strength to handle any challenges life throws at you. Remember, the strength is within you, and it's already there. You just need to start developing it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new lessons, and share this video with your loved ones. Together, we can become the best versions of ourselves. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next videos.